And we are live. What's good, y'all? Your name, DL Saint. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing? Happy Monday. Welcome to our Really Want to Know podcast, man. We got a little bit to talk about. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. We'll probably keep this show on the short side, but it's a lot going on out here, man. We went into the weekend dealing with the main shooter, the guy that went out there and took so many lives and hurt so many people. And then here in Florida, here in Tampa, Halloween night, I believe it was. There was a shooting between two groups, and a couple people lost their lives. I think like around 18 or so people were hurt, wounded, or somehow wounded in that event. Crazy, crazy. Now the thing in Tampa occurred around 3 in the morning. That was after all the clubs were over, and then I remember once upon a time. I mean, I was a young. We were out there. We were knuckleheads. I always looking for something to get into and just be out and about. But we didn't really have to deal with that senseless type stuff. I mean, people were just doing what they were doing, but it is what it is. They did apprehend and they have in custody the shooter responsible for at least one of the deletions, one of the people who lost their lives. Um, haven't really followed the story too close, but it just saddens me to see and hear that sort of thing, man. It just saddens me to see and hear it. And here we are. It's Monday. So I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you guys didn't have any drama. I hope you enjoyed your Halloween. The official Halloween is tomorrow. So for the little kids, will be out trick-or-treating tomorrow. When you guys are out and about, please be looking for those little kids during the trick-or-treat hours, even before and after. Just keep your eyes open, y'all. Put your cell phone down and stop texting just for those 4 or 5 hours when the kids are out there, man, because pay attention. Them little kids are out there running around like crazy, and it is what it is. That's what they do. That's Halloween. So we're going to be sitting here talking about what's going on in these streets today, man. Like, everyone's pretty much anticipating some sort of recession. Um, it is what it is. That's what people are expecting. When you talk to folks who are not in the big cities, like you go to like the medium and the small towns, people are really having trouble making ends meet, just having enough money to buy food. Like the cost of groceries have gone way up, have enough money to pay for the maintenance on your vehicle, or have enough money to um take care of some unexpected expense or cost or something like that, right? So all this is kind of jumping off. People are having a hard time filling the gas tank. Like I said, like buying eggs, although the price of eggs have come down. Um, Rents, and as far as buying a house, like buying a house right now is just, they say it's the most unaffordable time to buy a home is right now, is what the talking heads are saying now. Same thing about cars. It's just the most, because finance charges are way up there, right? Because the Fed rate's so high, and then the banks are putting the APR out there now is just getting up there, man. Just finance charges, and whatever rate you're gonna get quoted, it's gonna be close to 8%, if not a little bit over, depending on your credit. So it's really tough. It's really tough right now. We got one of the young knights in the building, Jack Black. What's up, brother? Jack, what's good, man? It's gonna have to get me a pistol here soon. A dude in the town I live near was stabbed yesterday and deleted over a bicycle. Shaking my head, crazy world. Yeah, man. It is what it is. That bro, somebody comes at you, man, and they trying to take something you got, and they got the drop on you via they got some sort of weapon or a bat, a knife, a gun. Man, give them what they're looking for, bro. Give them what they're looking for. Don't sit there and try to fight, because you can get caught up, man. And at the end of the day, it's this bicycle. But on the other side of that, it's guys like, this is how I get back and forth to work. I mean, this is mine. I want to fight for it. I get that too. Um, yeah, you definitely want to do something, especially if you live in a state like Florida. If you live in a state that's Second Amendment friendly, you definitely want to do whatever you can to take care of yourself. But at the same time, being armed and having a weapon doesn't make you a a better or badder person. It doesn't make just because you got a gun doesn't mean you can fight. So I always tell folks that too, like, bro, get out there, get punched in the mouth, go join a gym, boxing gym, or some sort of dojo like karate or taekwondo or MMA or whatever. Get in there, get punched in the mouth a couple times, get hit in the gut, get slammed on your head. Understand, like, learn how to fight, learn how to use your hands, learn how to use your hands. And is at that point, go ahead and get your weapon, because you gotta understand, like, having a firearm, that should always be the last resort. Simply because you have a gun doesn't make you bad. If you're not gonna go down an alley or down a walkway or into an establishment unless you have a pistol, then why are you going into that establishment? It shouldn't embolden you in any way, shape, or form. So you have to keep that in mind, guys. Just because you have a gun doesn't make you a Billy badass. It just doesn't. I'm gonna say that about law enforcement all the time. You got people who become police officers that were punks, cowards. You know what I mean? They joined the police department so they can get back at folks, right? You give them a gun, you put them out there, you put them in the worst places in their city, their town, their state. And what do they wind up doing? Almost always hurting somebody or getting hurt, right? So it's, just because you have protections, because you have a firearm doesn't mean you're a big badass. I mean, Brother Jackson saying apparently the guy accused him of stealing it, even though it was his bike. I just want to make sure I can protect myself from the crazy people that play dirty. Yeah, everyone's playing dirty, bro. Be careful. Be careful, man. I don't know anything about that story, but I feel bad for anyone who loses their lives over something like that. A bicycle, bro. A bicycle. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy. Like, be careful out there. But we're going to talk a little bit about this crime and what's going on. We're going to look at some numbers. We're going to read some stories. We're going to look at some video and you know, just food for thought. And it's just something that people, I think it's something we should talk about. And this is something we should be, familiarize ourselves with and just try to figure out what we're going to do. Let's get ahead of it. You know what I mean? This has happened before and it will all happen again. So let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed. Shout out to Shushu who made that. Like, shout out to her. You guys need any video work done, hit me up on Instagram and I will definitely put you in touch with Shushu. She does outstanding edits. She's amazing. She'll be here on Thursday. We're going to be talking about that whole Victoria's Secret thing. Like Victoria's Secret went from their normal business model to kind of being a little woke, I guess that's what they're calling it. They kind of wanted to tone down the sexiness that they were, doing with Victoria's Secrets. They changed up some of their models. They went to plus size and they were trying to I guess reach out to I guess they call them the alphabet mafia, the LBGTQ plus. I think that's what it is now. And yeah, they lost a lot of money. So Shushu and I are going to talk about that on Thursday. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what, what type of pivot they're going to make or what they're trying to do. So I hope you guys show up for that. That'll be Shushu. Now, when we get together, it's going to be a lot of laughing. It's going to be a lot of fun. We tackle tough topics, but we still have a good time. We still manage to have fun with it. So that's going to be Thursday. Shout out to everybody who popped in, those, watching from the clouds and, those ninja watchers out there. Thank you so much. At least, you guys are like, hitting the likes, you're jumping in there and you're watching and I appreciate it. And I appreciate y'all. This is cool. It's just real cool. I mean, this is fun. People are loving the shorts, the YouTube shorts. So we're going to keep that rolling, putting the shorts out. And, that's really helping to grow the subscribers. I'm not doing a whole lot with downrange right now. I'm still trying to put stuff up every now and then. I'm not doing a whole lot with it, but I'm going to still try to do at least 1 or 2 shows a week, maybe like some shorts or something, just something to keep it going. But my main focus is here on I Really Want to Know. So yeah, man, let's get into it. So the video we're about to watch, this comes from LA. This is like for people who've never lived in the Los Angeles area. LA is just like, bro, it's all about the freeways and it's all about the surface streets. Like, you have to know the freeways. And they won't say in LA, they won't say, like I-75 or I-10. It's always the, the 405, the 10, the 118, right? The 605. It's just the 101. Like it's just how it is. And if you ever move there, you find yourself doing it immediately. It's just how it is. So on the 10, and this must have been almost, I think, a week or so ago now, maybe just at a week, there was a brazen robbery. And what happened was there was a guy driving in, I guess, an exotic type car or a high-end vehicle. I think it was an Alfa Romeo or something like that. And some people were behind him in a minivan. They forced the guy in the nice car off the road. He crashed the car pretty bad. Then they jump out. There's a bunch of dudes jump out of the minivan with hoodies and masks, and they run up and they have hammers and crowbars and they smash windows, and they got the guy out the car, and they basically took whatever he had in the car. And this was in broad daylight. We're about to watch the whole thing go down. As a matter of fact, let's check this out.
Oh,
yes. So this is a person who was driving by and just had their camera on. They stopped and they're watching the guys run up. They make the dude get on his knees, got his hands up. They go into the car, smashing windows. Here's another person who walks up just filming. So they jumped out of a minivan. They had a trailing vehicle, this white vehicle here. And you got this guy, and they're in the trunk. They're snatching stuff. They're a little bit disorganized. They don't quite know what they're doing, but they know what they're after. They seem to be after something. And people are slowing down and looking at it. Folks on the freeway are trying to figure it out, like what's going on. They jump in the car and off they go. Right? And you see how much damage is done to the nice vehicle there.
brand new car.
Brand new car. They ran them off the road.
That fool took the exit.
So, and they're on the 10 freeway, which is like one of the major freeways out there, right? Did you see that? Like these guys, they ran up, they planned this thing out. This type of crime, bro, like that's brazen, man. I mean, that's real brazen right there. But I guess people got to have it, man. They out here, they trying to get it. They trying to get it. So think about all the planning that had to go in to this, to hit this lick right here. Now, trust me, back in the day when I was younger, and plenty of offers to do plenty of licks, man. Something like that brazen, that reeks of desperation. Like, we're going to do what? We're going to hit this dude on a major freeway during daylight hours in the middle of the day in an era where everyone has a camera in their pocket or in their hand, right? Bro, what are we doing? So think about what they had to do. They had to get the minivan. So they had to steal the minivan, right? I'm pretty sure they didn't use their own minivan. So they get this minivan. They see their target. They use their minivan to ram and crash this guy, make him get off the road. And it's not like these dudes were probably former law enforcement. Like, they don't know how to do the pit maneuver. The pit maneuver is when you hit, you get trained to hit the lead car and make it spin out. Maybe they were, who knows? We don't have video of how they managed to get this car, to crash. Then they pull up behind the car. Everyone jumps out the minivan. And then they run to the vehicle, their target vehicle. They make sure the driver's out. They got the driver's seat sitting there on his knees with his hands all the way in the air. And they have hammers and crowbars. And they go in, they pop the trunk, they smash windows if they need to. They get into the back seat. They're like looking in the driver, like, probably in the compartments where you can, store stuff, be it the glove box or the little compartment between the front seats or something. They're taking, whatever it is they're trying to take. Now, I couldn't see from the footage if they were grabbing bags or cases. I couldn't tell. So, I mean, because it's like, well, what could this dude possibly have that they want, that they're going to plan this thing out? So they're doing all this, right? They have their target vehicle. It looked like the driver was okay. They're going through the car, taking whatever they want. And now they have a trail vehicle coming up. This white sedan pulls up. They all get into the vehicle. Little confusion there, as if, did they get everything? You hear them talking to it. We got it, let's go. And they jump into the white SUV and then they speed off. So that white SUV had to be stolen as well. I mean, I'm sorry, that white sedan. I keep saying SUV, it was a sedan. Sorry about that, guys. The white car, the white 4-door vehicle, that had to be stolen as well. So you got to go steal 2 vehicles. You got to steal a minivan, you got to steal a car. So you can, and then how you know where this guy's gonna be? So you have to have intel. It's 5 of y'all jumping out the minivan, or 4 or 5 of you guys, and there's someone driving the car, the trail car, right, to get out of there. What could possibly be in that vehicle that's worth all this risk? Like, all this risk. And when you do a crime like this, man, if you're doing a crime like this in California, not that the criminals care, but You try something like that out here in Florida, it's a really good chance the person you running off the road is armed. So it's one of those things like that's one risk that I guess they're willing to take. Like, well, this guy probably isn't armed. You can get a concealed carry in California. People make it sound like it's impossible to get. No, it's not impossible to get. It's just really difficult to get, especially in LA County. Los Angeles County does the county sheriff. They don't want you to have it, but you can get it. It just, man, it takes a lot of work and you got to know a lot of people to do it. But you look at a place like Texas, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Florida, it's really easy to get concealed carry, especially here in Florida. You don't even need to take a class or nothing. You just grab the weapon and there you go. You're good to go. You don't need anything else. I don't like that rule, but that's the rule here. So at least the state government is giving you an opportunity to arm yourself against this sort of thing. So they had to steal at least 2 vehicles. There are at least 5 dudes involved in the actual hit. How many other people were involved with the scheme? You got to have someone watching this dude, whoever he is. You got to make sure you see whatever valuable things they're getting, whatever valuables were involved. You got to know that they're in the vehicle. You got to know his route. It's a lot of communication going on. I mean, that's brazen, yo. Broad daylight. And I was talking to my man Jay Swans about this, and he was like, yeah, bro, they used to do that all the time back in the 80s. I'm like, oh, okay, back in the 80s. What else was going on in the 80s? Carjackings were going on. Home invasions were going on. Gang banging, like that the violent crime in the streets was just ridiculous. All that was going on in the 80s. Wall Street was making money hand over fist, but the hood was going crazy. That's when crack hit. That's when the crack epidemic was going crazy, right? There's always been heroin in the streets. So all that was going on. The hood was hungry. They weren't making money. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the upper classes were making money hand over fist, bro. Back in the 80s. This is before Bill Clinton opened up the borders. Right? So like before and after. So when people are hungry, they know where to go get the money. They know it, So I look at something like this, it's like, yo, bro, that's pretty brazen. What I mean? Middle of the day, all those people involved. You got so many people involved, bro. Somebody's gonna talk. Somebody's gonna do something stupid. Someone's gonna post something somewhere. There's a good chance that the people involved in this particular caper were foreign nationals. Maybe they were, in the country illegally. And, because they can hit something like this. And if it's a big enough payoff, they can just get out. Like, you're already in California. You can hit this lick, split up the money or whatever. And boy, you could be back in Mexico by the time the sun goes down, if not sooner. LA ain't nothing but 3-4 hours away from the Mexican border. So it could be that. It could be people who don't live in LA. I think it's a lot of folks who live elsewhere flocking to California because you can go into retail stores now and just walk out with stuff. They ain't know, like, LAPD, they're not coming after you. There are people out there, like if you're wearing a nice watch, people are going out there, mugging people and taking, and just taking their watches and taking their jewelry. Ladies, they're taking their nice bags. It's just, and a lot of that crime is being perpetrated by people who don't live in California or new arrivals to California. They come from other parts of America. Why? Because it's like the opportunity is there. So this next video, this was from the Patrick Beck David podcast. Shout out to PBD. Actually, they had Governor Ron DeSantis on today for about an hour. I didn't watch that show. I'll probably watch it a little bit later. I'm not a big fan of Ron DeSantis. I'm not really. It's kind of sad watching, his campaign fizzle out here at the end. I'm pretty sure Ron DeSantis is not getting money. He's not getting backing, the financial backing. He needs to continue his campaign. It costs a lot of money to run for president of the United States. I'm pretty sure that Ron DeSantis is going to fall out of this race. I'm surprised he's still there now, to be honest with you. Mike Pence is already bowed out. I think it's just a matter of time before Ron DeSantis bows out. But, I mean, he's still polling really high, I guess, and that's why he kind of wants to fight in there. But the Republicans aren't really that crazy about him. You know what I mean? Brother Smeeble's in the building. Good day. Hey, how you doing, bro? We over here talking about American crime, bro, especially in California. But we're going to talk about the rest of the country as well. So, and good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Say Pence destroyed himself. He sure did, and so did Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis destroyed himself as well, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, he ran a horrible campaign, horrible, and the proof's in the pudding. You know, the proof is absolutely in the pudding. Like what is it's he went in to number two like a Republican darling, and look at him now. You know, I haven't looked at the latest numbers, but I'm not. I don't know if Vivek Ramaswamy has passed him in the polls yet. I don't know, but he might. If he hasn't done it yet, he probably will. And then you got like real Republican candidates, when you know, in Nikki Haley, and then you got Chris Christie. Uh, you know, you got Tim Scott. We'll see how this plays out. But right now, Trump's still the guy, and Trump violated. Looks like he violated one of his gag orders. So I don't know if the judge wants to get him at some point. They could lock him up. You know, temporarily if they want to, just to send him a message. But he's, you know, he sent out a tweet, or, you know, on his social media platform, or whatever that his platform is. He sent out some sort of tweet, and it appears to be a violation of his gag order. And I think this is the one out of New York. He also has a gag order for the federal case that's out of DC. So yeah, he better watch himself, bro. He might wind up locked up. I know that Cody King was talking about that. He was like, yeah, Trump will probably get in trouble for violating the gag order. And it looks like Cody was right. Yeah, and Brother Smeebles was saying, I heard a couple of his speeches, and he's saying the right things even I am liking to hear. And that's, you know what I mean? Yeah, we'll see. And you talking about Pence, like Pence said a couple things. Pence just doesn't have the charisma it takes, I think, to get there. And that's another problem that plagues DeSantis. Like he's not a people person. He's not very personable. Like when you meet him in real life, and you kind of see him now, he's trying to show a softer, warmer side. It's not gonna happen. Oh, you talking about Trump? Yeah, you're seeing Trump is saying some stuff. Yeah, man, Trump's gonna get locked up, bro. He's gonna get locked up. There's no way he's gonna beat all four of these cases, 2 state, 2 federal. Just know he's going to do it. And just the stuff he's doing now, like just violating the gag order. Like he's just like, bro, you trying to get locked up? I think he's just frustrated. He's not used to dealing with this sort of thing. So yeah, Trump is definitely not going to be. I don't see Trump making it to the election without one of these felonies. You know what I mean? Without being convicted of one of these felonies for the, you know, some of the stuff that's going on out there. So we'll see. Maybe he'll beat the cases, man, but I don't think so, man. I just don't see Trump beating these cases. So back to what's going on in America, bro. Like, the Young Turks is a pretty good show on YouTube. They're definitely way left. Anna Kasparian is part of that show. The guy who founded the Young Turks, her partner, I can't even say his name, but he's actually running for president right now. Extreme far left guy. And then they have like their platform is really left. You know, it's anti everything right, to be honest with you, bro. Like it's really hard to get just regular information out of them. They're always just kind of catering to the far left. You know, what people would call the woke side and all that kind of stuff, bro. It's like really crazy. But she was on Patrick Bet-David podcast. She was talking about California. This is a woman from California. She loves her state. She loves her city. And, you know, we're going to listen to what she has to say about it. But it kind of goes hand in glove with what we're talking about now. You know, we're, you know, looking at California, not to beat up on California, just California's the easiest example to show. But I think whatever happens in California with respect to like a spike in certain types of crime and stuff like that, whatever happens in California, I think is going to happen to the rest of the country in some shape or form. Maybe not to the same degree, but I can definitely see things going crazy. We got brother Chris Monkey out in the building. What's good, fam? And the Devil Dog in the building. He's like, yeah, Pence dropping out was surprising. Trump is on his normal bullshit. Like Ramaswamy and DeSantis are what the GOP has to offer next year. Yeah, man. Like the Republican Party is splintered, bro. I'm definitely gonna do a show about this on Downrange. The Republican Party is splintered, man. I mean, they really are. And I mean, you just look at what was going on with, you know, not having a Speaker of the House and then winding up with this guy, Mike Johnson. This dude who pretty much comes from out of nowhere. Um, I'm definitely gonna talk about him. I pulled up his Wikipedia and I was like shocked. Like without so like Jesus. Like this dude, like wow, how did he get there? He's Speaker of the House, but he really doesn't have any power, does he? Like you're sitting in a situation where anybody, any of the fringe people can just, and I'm talking about Republicans, can just remove him. So, he could get Matt Gaetz by anybody on the Republican side right now. Like the Republicans are, man, just kind of in a state of disarray, bro. Casual Germs in the building. What's good, fam? What's good, man? It's like happy early birthday to the devil, dog. Yeah. Y'all, yeah. What's good, man? So back to what we were talking about, like this crime thing, this potential crime wave that we're looking at. To me, it makes sense, man. If unemployment goes up, if people start losing their jobs, the interest rates continue to go up, they're going to have to raise interest rates. Like Jerome Powell has to raise interest rates. He can't be looking at these numbers that come out, which I don't even know where these numbers come from. These numbers that come out to say the economy is doing so great. He has to raise interest rates. And I think they did a pause on his last one. So December, they're going to raise interest rates more than likely. People are going to be getting laid off around the same time. There's rumors that corporations want folks to come back into the office at least 3 days a week. If that's the case, you're going to have folks who move from like New York to Florida or move from California to Arizona or Nevada. You got people who move from Atlanta to Mississippi or Alabama. And if you got to go into the workplace 3 days a week, well, that means you're going to have to move back to whatever city you're based out of. I don't think most Americans can do that, especially when you look at everything, you look at housing. The prices of housing, they are high. They're staying up there with interest rates rising. They say this is the most unaffordable time to buy a home, probably in recent history, certainly. And I don't know how far they go back, and saying that the gap is just incredible. And it's way cheaper to rent than to own right now. So we're gonna see how it rocks out, man. But if all that happens, if the economy tanks, if we hit a recession, if if interest rates continue to go up because they're trying to fight inflation, let's say that the Fed can't get inflation down to where they want it as fast as they want it, that's all going to be pain. People are going to still need to survive, still need gas money, still need to be able to get the car fixed, still need to be able to go grocery shopping, still need to be able to buy the kids whatever they need for school or whatever. It's going to be a problem, bro. It's going to be a problem. You still got to pay rent, still got to pay insurance. It's definitely going to be a problem. So what normally happens in those type of scenarios? People turn to the streets. People turn to crime. They want to hit that lick, get that fast money. I mean, hey, man, I know this dude's going to be driving down the street. You're going to be driving on the 10 freeway with $100,000 in gold coins, $200,000 in, high-end watches. Just going to be driving down the street with whatever of value. People are going to start putting together plans to get that money, right? And then when you look at the government making laws to decriminalize stuff on top of all that, it's like, well, why am I going to go out here and bust my butt and work a third job to get enough money to go grocery shopping in California when I can simply go grocery shopping and just push the cart right to my car and just drive off? It's like, yeah, taking a chance. And if the police come around the corner, all I got to do is take the groceries back inside and give them the groceries. They're not going to arrest me. You put people in situations where they have to take these drastic steps. Again, it seems like desperation. If people become desperate, they're going to do what they got to do. I'm just letting you know that's life in the hood. They got to take your bike because they need to get to work. They're going to take your bike. If they got to knock you over the head and take the money out your pocket to feed their child, that's what they're going to do. There's a lot of people out there, man, they break these laws. They don't even want to, but they don't know what else to do. No more stimmy money is coming, right? No more stimmy checks, right? So people are just going to be out there like, bro, this is going to be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, Casual Germs was saying the interest rates, oh my CC, have already been raised. I'm just blessed enough to pay off a couple of the cards. Yeah, man, the interest rates on your credit cards are going way up because most of those things, they're not locked in. They're variable. And like, you go ahead, let me run out here and buy some stuff, and I need to go buy some school clothes, or I need to take care of this car. I need, get the car fixed, and you spend 3,000 on your credit card, and now you got to finance that at 20 something percent, 15%. You know what I mean? Because that those things fluctuate. And yeah, you can just make the minimum payment, but you'll never get that thing paid off. You got to figure out a way to get that thing down. So yeah, credit card, man. Credit card debt is man, it's gonna hurt Americans. And Americans now have to pay back their student loans. That's for between, I don't know, between $300 and $700 that they didn't have to pay. And they were thinking they were never gonna have to pay. So now they got to pay that. And they're like, well, there are government programs to help. It's not gonna help everyone. Not everyone's gonna qualify. Not everyone's going to qualify. And I see Marines out here showing love for each other. Semper Fi. I see you. I see you, devil dogs. Rah, 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 whatever y'all say. Semper Fi. Rah, 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 rah. Get some. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, we can just have a moment and pray like Marines.
Pray! This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. My rifle is my best friend.
You know what I mean? Marines love that prayer. I ain't gonna lie, that's a fire prayer. I was, as a paratrooper, as an Army guy, man, I'm jealous. We don't have a prayer like that. Man, y'all took that prayer. I was so mad. This is my rifle. Like, they beat us to it. Brother Smeebles is saying, I can see Australia slowly going down that road in some places. I mean, in Victoria, where I'm from, I can get arrested for defending my home from intruders, but if I use more force than them, I'm arrested. Yeah, that's crazy. It's like that in certain states. It's a couple states that might be like that a little bit in America. For the most part, though, someone's coming to your house, you can take care of them. You can take care of them. But there's some states, like if you use your firearm and you hit that person, and let's say they go flying out the door, flying out the window, you better drag them back inside before law enforcement gets there. They're not going to investigate too much. Like, yeah, this guy came in here, he had a gun, he threatened my family, so I did what I had to do. You drag him back in here, they'll see the drag marks. It's like, yeah, okay, you cool. He'll take care of it. But if they get there and he's outside, some people say that, it becomes this thing. But Texas, Florida, stand your ground in Florida. Bro, he could be across the street somewhere, bro. You still take him out. Like, it's like I say, it's Dodge City down here in Florida, man. Dodge City, man. Chris Smokey had lots of PS5s were bought using STEMI checks. In all seriousness, financial responsibility is 10% knowledge, 90% behavior. Some folks don't know how to act when it comes to finance. Most folks, you're right, bro. That 90% just doesn't, especially when you're coming out of situations where you never had money. There are young kids out there who are making money now. They can't turn to mom and dad and say, hey, what do I do with this money? How do I get my liabilities down? Like, their parents can't tell them about trust. They can't tell them about IRAs. They can't tell them about, different strategies like, hey, take that money and put it, into a property, or take that money and buy a big vehicle so you can get the write-offs. Those people normally, they learn the hard way and they lose a lot of money, and America benefits from that. Like, the federal government takes all that money, and then, yeah, that's how we can spend $800 billion a year on our military. Because there's a lot of people out there who come into bread and they don't know how to, they don't know how to structure it. And they get pounded. It is what it is. Brother D-Mac is in the building. What's good, fam? It's like in Georgia, it's pretty much a done deal. Roll up in somebody's home, you getting your butt busted. Facts. Facts. They letting you have it. But California is one of those places, like kind of like what Brother Smeebles was saying in Australia. California, New York, there are places in those jurisdictions that, kind of strict on that. Like, you have to be careful. You have to be very aware of the law. Like, you can have somebody in your home, but you can find yourself in a situation because you defended your home, which is insane. Insane. And I'm here to tell you, people who don't have money, they know where the good neighborhoods are, and that's where they're going. They're going to the nice neighborhoods. They're looking for these licks. It don't take much. There'll be some guy on the street, man. If he can hit somebody and get a quick $100, bro, that's major. That's major. And people are just waiting for you, bro. You got to be careful. You got to keep your eyes up, man. You got to know what you're doing. You want to Uber, you want to valet when you're driving. If you live in a state where you can conceal carry, you definitely want to conceal carry. If you conceal carrying, you don't want to be drinking, right? You want to abide by the laws, man. Follow the rules, but be careful. Be very, very careful, man. You got to move. And back in the 80s was like that, man. The reason, people are like, man, how come you go out with me? You'll see my head's on a swivel and I'm always looking. I'm always looking at like, oh, you learned that in the military. Like, man, I learned that before I got to the Army. You need to see these people coming before they see you. Because if you don't see them coming, man, they got you. So you keep your head on the swivel, bro. Like I be in places, man, I love having my back to the wall. I want to know where the exits are. I want to be facing, the entrance and exits. I want to, because you just see so many people get hurt. You know what I mean? People don't carry cash like they used to. That's Brother D-Mac. True. But people getting hit for their plastic too. You know what I mean? People, they get in there, take your plastic, man, and they'll put that thing to your head and be like, yo, take you to the ATM and make you get the money out. They'll do that. You got to be careful, or they get a hold of your phone and start cash apping. That's another thing too. Be careful who you hand your phone to. Be handing your phone to strangers. Like, hey girl, what's up, man? Just put your number in there. Man, she'll jump on that joint. And if your cash app or your Venmo or whatever isn't protected, like locked, man, she'll send herself some bread. And mostly dudes are doing that. Like dudes are doing that. Not necessarily women, but because the women are running a different finesse and try to get you to, they just talk you into the cash apping them or whatever, looking for the simpletons. I ain't mad. Shout out to the players out there. Shout out to the simpletons. But the dude, he'll get your phone, right? Your phone open, get in there, your cash app open, right? He'll start sending himself money or just sending cash apps all over the place and just drain your cash app account, which is, or your Venmo, which is generally linked to one of your accounts. So be careful with that. Be careful with that, guys. You know what I mean? Brother Smith was like, in the past 2 years, I've rarely lent. The past 2 years, I've really learned to keep heads on the swivel. Yeah, I've learned to keep my head on the swivel. Never walk around with earbuds or music anymore. Facts, bro. I mean, you have to pay attention to what's going on. Like if I'm in the gym, I have my headphones on. Of course, I'm working out, but I'm in the gym. I'm still looking around, but I'm working out. But when I'm walking out of the gym, nah, bro, you won't see me walking down the street, listening to and if I have my headphones on, it's down real low, I can still hear what's going on around me, and my head is really on the swivel now. But people who just walk out the door, they're just doing this. They're just walking around doing this, head down, doing this. And you just asking for it. They might just come up and snatch the phone out your hand. I know they were doing that in San Francisco a few months back. They just run up and snatch your phone. You got the new iPhone, whatever. Boom, you ain't got it now. They run off with that phone, bro. So be careful, man. That's the way we grew up, those Schmeebs. I've never been to Australia, man. I've met a few Australians, more than a few Australians in my day, man. You guys are always cool. Man, y'all like to drink. That ollie, oi thing, man. People start throwing up shots. It's crazy. But I've never got an opportunity to go to Australia and check it out. I hope to go real soon, actually. I hope to get over there. So I know it's a long flight. I want to hit Australia. I want to hit New Zealand. I might hit some other spots while I'm in that region. But I don't know how bad it is. I've seen some crime stories, though. Like, you guys deal with murder and all that kind of stuff. I know y'all had an active shooter event, and then y'all government really cracked down on weapons after that. Not too long ago, I think about a year or so ago. But yeah, bro, I want to go over there, man. Like all the Aussies I met have been really cool. I know when I first started doing comedy, I was doing comedy in hostels. A lot of Australians coming over to LA, and they would stay at various hostels and stuff like that, man. Real cool folks, man. So I always had a good time. Beautiful women. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy how fine the women are over there. At least the ones that I saw in LA. But I've never had an opportunity to go. People were telling me, like, man, you want to go to Perth? You want to go to Sydney? Want to go to Melbourne? These are the places they were telling me to go. I haven't hit yet. So trust me, though, when it's time for me to come over there, Brother Smeebles, I'm going to be hitting you up first. Like, yo, where should I go? Yeah, Aussies know how to drink, bro. That is a fact. That crazy shooting was in New Zealand. Okay, cool. I got it mixed up. All right, I thought it was Australia. My bad. My brother Chris Smokey had I hit Australia back in 2002 with the 15th MEU. Okay. So they love us over there. Facts. That's what it is, bro. Can't wait to get over there. I can't wait to get over there. You know what I mean? MEU, man. Is that mechanized equipment? You know, what's MEU, bro? Something mechanized. And Brother Smith was like, it's getting worse. We still have shout outs and stuff. It's all about the area you in. Okay. Oh, so y'all still have shootouts over there. We had shootouts over here daily, bro. It's a shootout going on right now somewhere in America. Like I said, just a couple of days ago, it was a nasty one in the downtown area where the young kids hang out. This place called Ybor City in Tampa. You can look it up. It's all over the news, bro. Nasty one, man. Tons of video of it too. Tons of video. 2 fatalities and at least 18 were injured. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff out here, bro. So I that's one of the things that I just don't. I don't mess around. Marine Expeditionary. Oh yeah. That's what that is. I mean, okay, cool. Yeah, man. Don't y'all get a patch? Isn't that like the 1st Marine Division or something like that? Expedition. Yeah, Expeditionary unit, bro. My bad for misspelling it. My bad for mispronouncing. That's what's good. Deployed on the ship. That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. Your brother's about to get some in the Middle East right now, bro. 2 carrier strike groups over there, bro. You know what I mean? What is that? Close to 4,000 Marines. Not counting the Marines that are actually on the carriers. It's probably another 3,000 Marines, 1,500 on each carrier. Man, y'all about to get some in the Middle East. That's what it looks like, bro. We definitely going to be talking about that in the future, man. It's looking crazy over there. And Turkey's talking about they want to get some. So Turkey's talking about getting involved on the Iranian side. So we're going to be looking at Turkey, Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, Israel, and then it's versus America and Israel. Of course, the UK is going to stand with us no matter what. New Zealand and Australia probably sit this one out if it goes down. I ain't mad at them. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Not sure what Spain and France would do. I would imagine France would get involved on our side, possibly. I don't know. And then you look at what's going on in the Middle East. We definitely gonna talk about that this week, man. Probably Wednesday, because we got Shushu on Thursday. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we'll talk about it. Because it's not looking good in the Middle East. And what I mean by that is the potential for that whole region getting involved in a conflict, especially with what Turkey is saying right now, man. It's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good. Brother Chris Smokey, yeah, appreciate that. Marine Expeditionary Unit. It's the Marine component of the Amphibious Readiness Group, which is the Navy component, right? So, like I said, man, your brother and sister Marines over there in the Middle East about to get some, man. About to get some, man. There's plenty of beats over there that could be storms. Trust me. And they got the 101st Airborne Division just happened to be training in Jordan, I believe. They're in Jordan. And, of course, you got the 18th Airborne Corps, which could be anywhere in the world in less than a day. So, like, I want to say 18 hours max. 18th Airborne Corps could be open. It could fill the skies in the Middle East with paratroopers. Just like that, bro. So it is what it is. We got another brother Knight in here, GMC Hammer. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Good to see you, bro. So let's see what Anna has to say about California. Now, keep in mind, Anna Kasparian she's LA all the way. She's an Angelino, man. She loves California. But man, oh man, she has something to say about what's going on in California. And, Gavin Newsom going over to China and meeting with Xi Jinping, which is stupid, but let's get into it. Let me pull this up so you guys can see this, man. It is so much going on in California right now, bro. And like I said, I think California is just a vision of things to come for all of America. You know what I mean? I really believe that. I think what we're seeing going on in California right now is going to spill out to the rest of the country, and it's just because people are going to be hungry. People are just crushing credit card debt. There's so many people here in Central Florida, bro. Like, people can't afford their rent, and what a lot of these landlords are doing for the bigger properties, instead of taking them to court, they're just telling the people like, yo, just move out, and we won't go through the process of formally evicting you and having the sheriff come and taking all your stuff out. Just move out now, and we won't even come after you for the rest of them. Like, the money you owe us, we'll just let you out the lease. That's going on down here, and it's. People can't afford their rent, bro. It's getting crazy. People are losing hours and trying to work hard. You out here doing your gig economy. When things get bad, man, people aren't going to be Ubering as much. They're not going to be Uber eating, or Postmating as much. They just won't have the money. So, and then what's Uber going to do? Uber's going to try to keep the drivers on the road. They're going to try to pay the drivers a little bit of money. They're going to, and at the same time, cut rates. Hey, get an Uber now and get 2-for-1 trips or something like that. And it's going to be ugly. In the meantime, people are going to be just hitting licks. But let's get into it. Let's check this out. This is Anna Kasparian on PBD Podcast. Shout out to Patrick Beck David and the whole Value Entertainment family. Check out what she had to say about Cali.
Let's go to another genius, Newsom. Here's an article from the a month ago. Leftist anarchist experiences.
You're trying to get me in trouble. You're trying to get me in trouble.
California is a shit show under Newsom.
Yes.
Leftist commentator anarchist experience. The Young Turks describes California as a shit show. The leadership of Golden State Governor Newsom, a Democrat. California is without a question a shit show under Newsom. But I guess propping up proven failures is what the Democratic Party excels.
True.
At these days, Kasparian opined in a post on X, failure is what Democratic Party excels at. Newsom, who served as governor since 2019, won re-election last year after surviving a governor. Okay, so California, you're still living in California, right? I lived there for 24 years minus 3 years in the Army. You lived in California. You lived in California.
I was born there.
And he's dated a lot of Californians, but he's never lived in California.
Yeah.
So how is California like today? How is your governor doing today? And why are you still in California?
I'm still in California. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm not going to leave and just allow the most extreme elements of the left destroy the state. Okay. So I'm going to stay and I'm going to fight and I'm going to make it better. I think LA and California in general still has a lot of potential, but there have been some policies implemented that have been disastrous. So Gavin Newsom and the current Democratic legislature in the state of California have engaged in this trend of decriminalizing everything and refusing to regulate things. So I'll give you some examples. One of the things that they decriminalized but refused.
Yo, when I saw this, I mean, I've always known who Anna Kasparian is, right? Because I know about the Young Turks. I was in LA for a long time. I was out there. I was in LA, let's call it 20 years. And then I spent some time in San Diego. I spent some time in Miami, but I came back to LA. So I was out there for a good amount of time. I am very familiar with LA. I know all about the Angelinos, and I'm familiar with California politics because you know Uncle Saint is always involved in politics. I was out there in I remember when Gray Davis got back in office. I was there, you know, doing all the political stuff behind Gray Davis, and then I was there when the recall happened and Gray Davis got replaced by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know a lot of people who were on the Schwarzenegger campaign. I got to see all that. I was kind of flying on the wall, just kind of checking it out. You know what I mean? What she's saying about the Democrats who run California is true. I mean, they strong arm it out there, just like the Republicans strong arm Texas. Like, you know, Texas is deep red, California is deep blue. And they make some dumb decisions out there, man, some dumb decisions. And the biggest thing is the taxes. The taxes and the gas, right? Like they purposely run that up, bro. You got a California emissions thing and like the gas, man, it's crazy out there. It costs a lot of money to live in California, bro. People don't understand how expensive California is. Gas right now, bro, I bet you pretty soon people are going to start siphoning gas out of people's tanks and selling it on the black market or something like that. They were out there cutting catalytic converters off your car, bro. You be in a house sleeping, they outside cutting off your catalytic converter. That was going on in 2016, 2017. Still going on to this day. Man, it's crazy what's going on out there. They made some bad choices in California, and now they got to pay for it because people are fleeing California in droves. Patrick Bet-David, Vinny Oshana, and then you got Tom. I forget Tom's last name. All of them left California. I left California. I know a lot of people left California. And the biggest reason was the tax reasons, bro. Like, man, it's just too much in taxes. Forget everything else for a moment. Like, man, they're just crushing us in state taxes. And then you look at everything else. You know, mortgages, rents, gas, you have to drive, traffic is bad. You know, but there's some great things about California. And I do believe that California, people like Anna Kasparian here and other Angelinos and like just Californians in general, I think they're going to get it together. I think, I don't think they're going to start voting a bunch of Republicans in California, but I think they're going to bring in a bunch of moderate Democrats and, and come in with some common sense, no nonsense plan to get California back on its feet. That's a beautiful state, bro. It's just a beautiful state. The stuff that you can do there, man, like from the Redwoods, man, going down to Baja, you know what I mean? Like kicking it on the beach. Like Venice Beach used to be great. Santa Monica Beach and Malibu used to be amazing. Not so much now because you have homeless people over there taking dumps right there on the beach and just being crazy walking down the boardwalk. and cops are powerless to do anything to them. She's about to talk about what they're doing, trying to decriminalize prostitution. We have to listen to this for a second because it's crazy out there. But I don't think California is going to stay this way. I think California is going to bounce back. I think more people are going to leave. I think more companies are going to leave. It's going to get a little worse before it gets better, but I do believe it's going to get better out there. You know what I mean? Brother Chris, Chris is like, California knows how to party. When I was stationed out there, I lived in the OC, paying $2,900 for rent back in 2015. Yeah, bro. Yeah, down in Orange County, man, that's expensive, man. I was up in LA, man. I was in the Valley mostly, but I was in, West Hollywood. I was down Venice, Marina Del Rey. Yeah, bro. That ain't no joke. Like, I left in 2019, end of 2019, call it 2020. But rent for, like, in North Hollywood for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, barely 1,000 square feet, like maybe just a little bit under, between 800 and 1,000 square feet, in a decent building. Yeah, man, you're looking at, 29, anywhere between 26 and 3,100, depending on what property and what amenities they have and stuff like that. So it was crazy out there, man. Brother Smeebles, like, from what I've heard, Cali was great in the 80s and 90s. It was depending on who you were. Like, you got to think about that, man. In the 80s, like from 80 to 90, that's when the gang banging thing was going crazy. So if you were south of the 10 freeway, like if you were in South Central, Watts and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Compton, parts of the valley like Van Nuys, Pacoima and stuff like that. Yeah, man, you got caught up. It was ugly. It was that gang banging thing was real. But for the folks in Bel Air, Valencia, you know what I mean? Beverly Hills, Malibu, Century City, like if you were doing good, like Westchester, like if you were doing good, man, life was grand. Life was amazing. It was beautiful. People everywhere, but you could still get caught up in Venice. Venice was dangerous, but Santa Monica was cool. And Venice and Santa Monica was just like right next to each other. So you could be in Santa Monica, you good. You venture too far south and you wind up in Venice at night, man, something gonna happen to you. You got the Lords of Dogtown and all that. The skaters were doing their thing, and the surfers were doing their thing. They had their own little subcultures, but yeah, man, if you were just living in Valencia, living in Simi Valley somewhere, it was a great life. You just went down to Hollywood to party a little bit, got too crazy, you went back home to your safe neighborhood. Go back to Simi Valley with all the cops. Santa Barbara was really nice, but man, look, right now, it's crazy. Let's get back to the video.
To regulate is prostitution, okay? I think that sex work should be legalized and regulated, okay? What I mean by that is I don't want to see prostitutes walking around in thongs on the streets as kids are walking to school. But what the Democrats in California have done is we don't have the balls to actually legalize and regulate it, and we're lazy as hell. So we're just going to do the super lazy thing of decriminalizing, which means we're going to disempower our legal system, disempower law enforcement, and just allow sex workers to do what they're currently doing right now, which is they have no protection. They're not paying taxes. They're being controlled and sex trafficked by Johns. Okay. It is the worst possible solution to the issue. Okay. No one is safe. Everyone's angry. And you see all sorts of terrible stuff happening right there in broad daylight in the middle of the street. Okay. They did the same thing with drugs. Okay. We're going to decriminalize. So what do you see in California? Bunch of people shooting up, okay, and smoking crack all over the place. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in seeing that. I don't think that we should be, dealing with that on the metro system. Why do taxpayers have to deal with that? So they don't want to do anything to regulate. Again, I am fine with legalizing these things as long as we regulate it.
I need to understand something. Anna is nowhere near the right. She's nowhere near that. She's not considered. I mean, at best, you could say she's center left. At best, when you listen to what she's saying right here, that's what she sounds like. But she ain't on that far rightness. She ain't no Trump or none of that stuff. She's just a woman who's fed up. And there's a lot of people in California who are fed up. Most of them have left. Right? You talking about, and she's wealthy enough to move. She can go anywhere she wants to go, just like Pat, just like Vinny, just like Tom. They can go anywhere. Anywhere. But she wants to stay because that's her home. But what she was talking about with decriminalizing prostitution, what did they do? they made it to where basically cops can't arrest women for that trade. Now, if they do a sting or whatever, they're gonna get caught, but they'll let them go. They'll bring them in, run their prints, pictures, and then they'll turn them loose. You know what I mean? Same thing with the drug use out there. Drug use is a problem, and it ain't crack. She's talking about crack, man. It's fentanyl, right? It's heroin. It's out there. Like I've seen that myself. You go down certain alleys downtown LA, especially, you see people sitting right there, man, patting they arm, bro, getting them veins to pop out. And you see it, they're everywhere, bro. They and walking around like zombies. You go down a Skid Row, oh my God, bro. I mean, that looks like a movie set, man. You go on Skid Row, you looking around for the cameras, like, is this they shooting a movie? There's real life zombies down there, a whole nother life. So you got this thing, instead of legalizing prostitution, which she's right, they should do. Legalize it, tax it, regulate it, you know what I mean, and protect everybody involved. When she said they got Johns out there, she ain't lying, man. There's dudes out there getting their pimp hand down. Women too. They're out there. Pimping is a thing. Pimping ain't never went nowhere in LA, but now it's really a thing. They out there on the man. They got these women on the track. They got them on the track for real. And the stuff that they're wearing, all you got to do is type in LA streetwalkers on YouTube. There are guys out there. That's all they do is drive around and film it. Broad daylight, all over the place, man. Now, when I got there in the late 90s, they had areas where you could go like on Vermont or not Wilshire, but Western, Vermont, Pico. There were certain places where, you know, you could go and you might find some women late night China, whatever, but they weren't wearing what they wearing now. Like these women walking around now with straight up lingerie on, man, like G-strings, everything hanging out. I mean, I've seen more clothes on a stripper, and they're walking up and down the street, crossing the streets, police right there, walking up the cars, you know, talking to them, whatever, getting in the car. It's crazy. Back in the 90s, they had on regular clothes. You didn't know if she was on her way to a club or what. Right? You would just see them like, okay. And you talk to people like, oh, no, man, she on the track. She working. Like, word? You would see them inside of nice bars and lounges. You know, just kind of talk to them, hey, what's going on? And you find out like, oh, no, they'll tell you like, no, that's a call girl. Like, word? But now they look like a caricature from a movie from the 70s or 80s. They're walking around like that. Like, bro, what are they doing? And the police aren't doing anything about it. And yes, people are going to get hurt. If you regulate it, if it's legal, there's a red light district, there's protection for both sides. You pay your taxes. You're safe. You don't have to worry about people trying to pimp you, this and that. You could just like they do in Amsterdam, just like they do in Aruba, just like they do in you name the country, right? But no, they're not going to do that. She's right. They're just lazy. We're going to decriminalize. We're going to make it almost impossible for law enforcement to do anything about it. We're going to turn you loose. And like you said, these kids will be walking to school 2:00 in the afternoon trying to come home, and there's, you know, cut down the alleyway. Alleys are everywhere in LA, right? In the valley, down to LA, everywhere. You cut down the alley trying to come home, and there's a dude standing up against the wall with a prostitute on her knees. You seeing it right there in real life. This ain't something you seeing on your phone, on your computer. Like, they don't care, bro. You know, you got your kids roaming around and seeing this stuff, and these people saying stuff to your kids like, hey, come over here, little boy. Come over here, little girl. Nah, man. They have lost control of their streets in certain areas out there. So I think that people like Anna are going to help them get that back. It's scary. I used to walk my daughter to school and pick her up from school every day. You know, just like I do now, driving now. But back then we used to walk to school. School was right down the street, 2 blocks. And I'd be walking 2 blocks looking around because back then it was homeless. They were everywhere. It was homelessness. And most of the people who were homeless, they had some sort of addiction that they were fighting or they were mentally unstable. So you had to be there and be ready. Be ready. You might have somebody who's homeless and just mentally unstable. They see some little kid and they just want to say hi and touch them. It's like, nah, bro, back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll do something to you. And it's still in their mind. They're just, no, I just want to say hi to the pretty little girl. I want to say hi to the pretty little boy. Like, man, you better back up before I do something to you, bro. And it's gotten way worse. Let's continue.
As long as we find the right balance to keep everyone safe, keep everyone as happy as they can be, so we can see these cities thrive. But these cities are not thriving. Okay. San Francisco is terrifying. And it's hilarious to me because the business community there wants to put lipstick on a pig. They want to put out this $4 million ad campaign pretending as though everything in San Francisco is all hunky-dory. It's not hunky-dory. San Francisco is a nightmare. Yes, violent crime went down a little bit, but your car's going to get broken into. Okay, you're going to get robbed.
Those are up, by the way. Both
Yeah,
of those
those
two
are up.
categories are
And
up.
Correct.
the smash and grabs, and you left
So
the
keep going.
smash and grabs in LA because they decriminalized
Yep.
under $1,000.
Keep going.
I mean, it's just not, it's not right. There are certain issues that we've had for a long time. The drug war was a failure. And so going back to the drug war, I don't think is going to be effective. But you know what else isn't effective? Using taxpayer money, funneling it to nonprofits so they can literally buy crack pipes and hand them out at Skid Row.
And bleach
there is
pits.
video evidence of that.
How does that make
So
any sense?
anyone on the left
Yeah.
who wants to come at me and pretend like this is just a right-wing scaremongering talking point, you're full of crap, and you should go online and you should watch the videos of literal. We spent $13 billion in Los Angeles alone last year to combat homelessness. You want to know where that money went? That money went to these trash nonprofits who have a bunch of executives making $500,000 a year. You're working for a nonprofit dealing with homelessness. That's my money. That's my parents' money. Okay. That is the hardworking people of California paying incredibly high taxes that go to what? So yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And
And she's not lying about that, guys. She's not lying about that. You know, Brother Dino will be on here like Dino Dinosaur, and they'll talk about, the Dems put this money for this and that money for that. I mean, that's cool and that's great for the headline. And they did, they earmarked the money. But where's the money ultimately end up? Like she said, you got these nonprofits with people sitting on the board getting, $250,000 up to $500,000 a year to sit on this board and say where the rest of this money goes. Like that right there doesn't work. Right, that's a lot of money. You're looking at all this money that you're paying these people to sit on the board. That should be pro bono. They should sit on those boards for free. Every dime of that money, that 13 billion that she was talking about, every dime should go to getting help for the homeless, getting help for people with mental issues, mental challenges, getting help with people who have substance abuse problems, getting help to those women, on the streets hustling like that, unless you're going to legalize it, right? Maybe creating some jobs so people have some options so they don't have to do that. You feel me? Like that's how that money should work. But if you're going to pay somebody, $250 all the way up to $500,000 a year to sit on the board and tell you how you should spend money to help the homelessness, they're never going to really want to help the homelessness, are they? Because as soon as you solve the problem, you're out of a job. That's $1 million every other year. You're out of a job. You're out of power too, because now you ain't controlling the money that's coming in there. That's power to that. Right. And again, I'm not some far right dude. She's not some far right woman. She's telling the truth. She's sitting on the TV, a podcast full of dudes who are on the right. Right. Some far right. Vinny comes off far right these days. I've known Vinny a long time. We never discussed politics. We're comedians. But I'm looking at his politics and what he's saying. Vinny's far right. Right. You got Pat. I would say he's moderate. He's moderate right. Or maybe just right, like just radical conservative. And then Tom, he's a financial guy, but he doesn't seem, too far right. And then you got Adam Sosnick, who's supposed to be like the liberal guy on the panel. So what she's saying makes sense to me. It's common sense kind of stuff, bro. And you like, it's a head scratcher because just like all that money is being wasted, and people are just like she said, that's her money. That's her parents and grandparents' money. That's the money of the people from California. All that tax money. This is why they don't want to be there anymore. Like, you gonna make me pay all this money, then you just gonna give it to somebody like that? It's not even going to help the people who need the help the most. And if you put a dent in the homelessness issues out there in California, once you get that under control, then maybe you can really start focusing on this crime. And again, just let the police do their job. They decriminalize certain crimes, and the cops will just send back. The cops know what time it is. Like, we can't do nothing about it. Oh, somebody robbed you for your Rolex? Sorry. Go talk to this person. Go fill out this form. No, we're not looking for that watch. You're done. Hope you had insurance, homie. You're done. Let's continue.
honestly, just experiencing what I've seen on the ground in California has made me question a lot about left-wing ideology.
Now, what do you think about your governor going and spending time with G this last week? I'll read the story to you. I think even just happened maybe yesterday.
And this gets into something else we don't necessarily have to get into. They get into what he's talking about with the Chinese leader. And what Gavin Newsom is doing is basically preparing himself for a possible run at the White House because we all know that Joe Biden's health is not good. I honestly don't see how Joe Biden is gonna. I don't understand why he's even running. I don't understand what the Democrats are doing. Just have him like, hey man, thank you. You were the man that could beat Trump. Mission accomplished. You did a good job. You know, you were president for a term. You didn't wreck the country. Some of your policies actually worked. Some of your policies, I don't know. Why don't you just sit down, bro? No, I want another term. Like, bro, you don't even know where you are right now. So people know, and then his health may not hold up. So Gavin Newsom wants to position himself to be that number one alternative. Gavin Newsom, now he knows that California, his record in California as governor is bad. So what is he doing? He's going out there. He's going to the far right. He's going on podcasts. He's doing interviews, and he's saying like, yeah, I messed some stuff up there. They wanted to recall me. I'm not saying that I was a stellar governor, but I did what I thought was best, and blah blah blah. But then you look at it when you're talking about American politics, it's a popularity contest, and Gavin Newsom looks the part, bro. You know what I mean? He's a younger guy. He has the hair. He has the suits. He knows how to do the conversation. He is a smart guy. He knows how to talk, right? I saw him on Sean Hannity stuff, man, wrecking Sean Hannity. They're supposed to do a debate with Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis. That's probably not going to happen now. And Gavin Newsom was talking about that. Like, he was breaking down DeSantis, what I thought was crazy. Like, the dude, he is a polished, refined, professional politician. I think he did a pretty terrible job in California, and the proof is in the pudding. But a lot of that isn't his fault. But I mean, he could have turned some of that around, So I mean, it is what it is. Scam Likely's in the building. What's good, fam? Brother Smee was like, Victoria seems like that. If what has been stolen isn't worth enough, it ain't wasting their time unless it benefits the police to chase X person. Yeah, bro. I mean, in California, man, if you go to the LAPD's website, there's information there saying, hey, basically, if you get robbed, be a good victim. Give them whatever they want. Don't fight back. You know what I mean? Pay close attention to what they're wearing and details and write it all down and call us and make a report. That's what they're telling you to do. And at the same time, they're restricting your access to weapons. They're restricting your access to your Second Amendment rights. That's a big problem. Like, we're going to do all this stuff. We're going to create, tombstone out here. We're going to create almost a lawlessness situation, and we're not even going to allow you to protect yourself. We're not even going to, we're going to make it hard for you to protect yourself and your family. And if you do use your weapon while you're protecting yourself or your family or your property, we might arrest you. Like, that is crazy, bro. That is crazy. And I'm a definitely have a link to this video we were watching in the description. You should go back in there and watch it. Anna was talking about how Gavin Newsom, because she really doesn't like Newsom. Gavin Newsom was letting people out of jail, but he didn't have a plan to help them get on their feet once they got out of jail. He let them out of jail early, and there was no programs or anything in place to help them get on their feet. So if you kick somebody out the prison system, you put them on the street with no money, no resources, no place to stay, really. What are they going to do? They're going to do what they know how to do. They're going to go out here and hustle somehow and get this bread. You know what I mean? They're going to go out there. So it's just, you're creating a problem. I'm going to empty the jails. I'm going to put all these criminals, on the streets. They're not going to have to finish their sentences. And then what do you think they're going to do, man? They're going to go out there and they're going to do what got them locked up in the first place. That's what they're going to do. Brother Mangel's in the building. What's good, fam? Brother Pitney Jew's also in the building. That's for both of y'all right there. He's like, I'm happy to see her leftist ideas finally being challenged. She was far left a few years ago. She was, bro. Extreme left, but she's not so much anymore. If a trip to San Francisco did this to her, a trip to Venezuela might make her a conservative. Facts, bro. Man, and I think that's going on a lot in California. It's like, all right, man, we went too far. I rarely watch the Young Turks. I can't say rarely. I don't watch the Young Turks. They used to have a brother on there who would always be the guy saying the cops are just killing black folks for no reason. The cops just defund the police dude. I forget his name. Well-spoken dude, wore a suit. You know what I mean? And I would just watch. I was just like, man, these people are crazy. And they were routinely crossed the line, but wouldn't have their feet held to the fire. But they wound up crossing the line, and he had to actually come out and apologize a couple times or whatever. I don't like the Young Turks. People would send me stuff from the Young Turks, and it's like, I'm not going to watch that. Just like I'm not going to watch the far right stuff. Someone send me some stuff from Rumble. I'm not going to watch that. You know what I mean? Like, just why? Why? It's too far left or too far right for me. It's stupid. I don't need to watch it. I already know it's stupid. You know, like in California is paying for their stupidity right now. And it's really cool, like Brother Pitney was saying, to have someone like Anna who's like, yeah, man, we messed up. We went too far. And she's calling them out big time. And what's the first thing they do? Oh, they say, you're far right now. You're this and that. No, she's not. She helped start the Young Turks, bro. They've always been far left. Brother Lou's in the building. What's good, fam? Ron DeSantis will be the next president, not of the United States, bro. He might be the next president of his, neighborhood association or something, but he's about to drop out this race. He is following the same pattern and script George W. did in 2000. W almost lost. He did lose the popular vote, and depending on who you talk to, people say that W lost. It was the Supreme Court that called that race. So if DeSantis is following that path, he's gonna lose. DeSantis isn't popular in Florida right now, bro. His own state. And look, things are bad in Florida, bro. I'm telling you, it's not going to be DeSantis. It's not going to be Vivek Ramaswamy either. It's not going to be DeSantis. Trump is going to be the guy, but he's not going to be able to win an election. Plus, he's going to be locked up. The problem is, the thing with Trump is people aren't voting for Trump. They're voting against him. So, you got people coming out here and like, oh, we love Biden because it looks like Biden's going to be the guy on the left. He's Democratic side. No one's crazy about Joe Biden, bro, especially now. He's too old. So, but people will still vote for the old dude that they think doesn't have has it mentally together over Trump. Because they just cannot stand Trump. And it's enough. You're talking about like 50 plus one. And you look at, if Trump had all the Republican votes, I would say, yeah, he had a shot at winning, but all the Republicans ain't rocking with him. There's no way he's going to win over enough independents. No way. And then they're talking about RFK Jr. running. If RFK Jr. runs, that's going to be at least a third of the Republican vote going over there because they really don't want to rock with Trump. And again, that hands the victory to the Democrats. Again, I'm not crazy about Joe Biden. And then as far as Ron DeSantis, bro, I will be surprised if he's still in the race this time next month. He doesn't have any money. The trailer park folks sending their money to Trump. They don't want DeSantis. DeSantis isn't popular even in his own state. Right. And then the powers to be, the puppet masters, they're not sending any money to Ron DeSantis. He's out of money. Whatever he's doing now, he's probably getting it from his diehard supporters, and maybe he's going into his own pocketbook. I don't see him making it, bro. You're going to have to look at, Chris Christie. You know what I mean? You might have to look at them type people, man. Nikki Haley. She's probably, she did good in the last debate. They got this debate coming up in Miami. We'll see how that plays out. Chris Smokey hat. Newsom won the recall. What does that say about California in general? This is a classic example of a self-inflicted wound. I don't feel sorry for the state of California. People need to vote better. Facts, bro. Facts. That right there is a fact, my friend. That is a fact, man. I'm with you 100% on that. And Brother Smith was like, that's Australia in a nutshell, to be honest, in most areas. Australia gives too much to the people that so many people are relying on them and actually now are doing a lot to get more off of them. But it's all unsustainable. Yeah, man. It sounds like Australia politics and California politics are like hand in hand. New York, same way. You know what I mean? Like the extreme liberal stuff is just it just doesn't seem to work. The extreme Republican stuff, the conservative stuff, it doesn't work. It has to be in the middle. It has to be in the middle. Each side is going to have to give up on some stuff in order to make it work. You know what I mean? And Jack Black is like, yeah, he screwed up with policy, went too far right, man. Yeah, this, and if DeSantis had the charisma that Gavin Newsom has, then yeah, bro, he'd be the number one guy. He'd be killing Trump right now. If he had that look, that charisma, But DeSantis doesn't have that. And that, you know, like I said, it's a popularity contest at the end of the day. And DeSantis is just the weirdo nerd dude. He's a wet blanket, bro. He's the guy no one wants to have a beer with that guy. No one's trying to holler at that guy. You saw DeSantis walking down the street, man, you ain't trying to talk to him. Say what you want about Trump, but if you saw Trump, you're gonna be like, I want, you know, people are like, I'll have a drink with him because you just don't know what he's gonna say. It's just crazy. And Gavin Newsom, if I saw Gavin Newsom, I would sit down and talk to him. I would love to pick his brain a little bit, you know, and figure out where his politics stems from. That's a smart dude. You know what I mean? Trump, not so much. Not so much. But DeSantis, yeah. You know, Obama, yeah. Bill Clinton, yeah. George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, absolutely. George W. Bush, if I sat down with him, we'd just be drinking. We'd just be drinking, getting tips. We'd be getting lit. I talk about how he finessed his way out of Vietnam or something like that. But you know what I mean? But as far as politics, I don't know if I would talk politics with W. So let's see. What do we got next? So Anna was talking a lot about what's going on with the prostitution thing. New York Post has something out that came out, I want to say October 30th. No, it came out before this, but I'm reading it today. Let's pull this up. Just so we can understand where she was coming from with all that talk, right? So let's check this out. So inside LA's brazen sex market, where women sell themselves in broad daylight, emboldened by California's new law, right? Jorge Hernandez, this was October 23rd. This came out. Right. So emboldened by new California laws that make it nearly impossible for cops to bust prostitution or prostitutes, sex workers in Los Angeles red light districts stalk for business wearing no more than thongs, G-strings, and high heels in broad daylight. Right. And then, you know, we got this video here. This is a video here of a guy. He's not wearing anything. He's looking for the business. And you got the women walking around. Look, they're walking around the side streets, man. That was just off of Pico, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen that on there's videos out there that talks about streetwalkers in different cities. And LA is one of the big cities, and I've seen those videos. So they're out there. They're not worried about the police. A 40-block area of Figueroa Boulevard in South LA sees hundreds of prostitutes, some barely out of their teens, ply their trade since Governor Gavin Newsom passed the controversial Safer Streets for All Act, which decriminalized loitering with the intent to work as a prostitute in January. This is what Anna's talking about. This is exactly what she's talking about. You're going to decriminalize this crime, take the power away from law enforcement to enforce said crime. And then you're going to say the streets are better? The streets are safer? No, they're not. And this is going on in the middle of the day. And they're saying there are hundreds of women out there, some of them barely out of their teens. Trust me, there's probably a lot of young girls out there who are in their teens. This is a huge problem. This is a huge problem. I'm shocked that they're actually doing it, to be honest with you. This is a huge problem. So he did that. He decriminalized it in January. Safer Streets for All Act. Who is this safer for? You got pimps out there running chicks. You got women out there on the track. They're being exploited and taken advantage of by dudes pulling up. And the dudes don't know what the women have. I mean, it could be some sort of robbery setup kind of thing. All this is going on in the streets right in front of the kids who are just trying to go outside and get from A to B. People trying to get back and forth to work. Let's continue. Before, this type of activity only happened at night where most citizens wouldn't see. But now it's 24/7. One source told the Post. He's right about that. You could go up and down Western, right? You can go like Western is a busy street in LA, goes north-south. You know, you can intercept Wilshire, 3rd, Beverly, Sunset, Hollywood. Like it's just one of those main strips, right? You can go up and down. This is when I was out there. You could be going up and down Western. And I used to have to go up and down Western to go get my daughter from my daughter's mom's house. So sometimes I would pick her up. It would be late. It would be like 11, 12, 1 in the morning, because they'll be getting back from something like a fair or something like that. And my daughter's like, I want to come home. So I would go get her. And I'm driving back. She's sleeping in the back seat. And I'm driving up Western. You can just look off to your left and right and you will see the tracks. The track is a term that they use. The prostitutes just walk the streets that they walk up and down on, right? So they will be on Western between like the little side streets, and dudes will see them and pull up, and then the girls will like, pull down this street right here, little side street, and they'll walk up and whatever. But this will be going on like at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, something like that, right? And then when the sun came up, 6, 7, 8 in the morning, I would be going down that street to take my daughter back to her mom's house sometimes. Like, oh, it's early, I'm about to go to work. Let me drop my daughter off before I go to work. And you will see the girls, the women leaving. Like it's the end of the night for them. Like sun's up, they jumping in their Ubers or jumping on, back then it was their buses. They'll jump on the buses. You will see them like, oh, this is the working girls. I guess the shift is over. And then for the rest of the day, all day long, when the sun is up, it's just nothing. It's people just doing their normal businesses, right? I'm not saying that it's right, but that's how it went down. People were out there doing that thing, those were the hours that they were doing it. The police knew where they were. If something went down, the police knew who was who and what was what, and they can find out what's going on. But now it's in the middle of the day. It's in the middle of the day. It's 24/7, what this person said. They told it, it's 24/7. He's like, now you can drive by at 2 p.m. and see it. Families drive by and see 10 girls on the corner, condoms on the ground. You go by the alleys and you see a guy in the middle of the alley and a woman performing, she's giving him dome, fellatio. And the mom and her kids have to pass by that. It's ridiculous. All in the open, broad daylight. God only knows the impact it has on those kids who have to see this. Facts. I mean, yeah, Brother Jack is right, man. The policy went too far. Brother Smee was is honestly crazy. At least Australia has a pro situation regulated by taxes, and it's actually a very clean thing. Exactly. That's what Anna was saying. That's what you need in America. But American liberals won't do it. They can easily do it. California will legalize weed, decriminalize hardcore drugs, but they won't legalize prostitution. But they want to decriminalize it, and they think they're helping people. It's no. That's not how it works. You know what I mean? American feminism at its finest. They're just unsmart. I mean, I'm not even gonna go that far, like American feminism, but I get your point. And here's the thing: if people can do what they want with their body, the government should be there to protect them and help them, to give them a safe space, quote unquote. They like to use that term, a safe space to do that job. We should have a red light district. Brother Casual Journal, appreciate you, bro. The $50 super chat. Since we're on the subject, they're taking power from the cops and giving it to the private security. Look up Chicago Northside Walgreens shooting. I worked at security site as a street patrol. Bars, restaurant owners want us to do the cops' job. Crazy. I'm definitely gonna look that up, bro. Thank you, bro. I'm gonna look that up. That was the Chicago Northside Walgreens. Let me write that down right now. Forgive me for being quiet while I write, because y'all know I can't do two things at once. Northside Walgreens shooting. Because I haven't heard anything about this, bro. We're going to definitely talk about this. And it puts the business owners in a very, very bad situation. Like, so what do? You need that protection. If law enforcement is not going to do it, you're going to have to get someone to do it. So you're going to get armed protection. And then it's kind of like when we fight our wars, man. We send, these private warriors, these contract warriors off to fight. And then, okay, what if they break a law? They're not combatants. So how do you deal with that? If they commit some sort of war crime, they're not combatants. So what do you do with them? If you capture them on the battlefield, they're not afforded the Geneva Conventions, right? Because they're not combatants. Same thing on the streets. You got, we're going to have these private security guys come out here and secure the streets. But what happens if they have to use their weapons and if they have to get down? They're not law enforcement officials, right? Ooh, thanks again, bro, for the super $50 super chat, and definitely gonna look into that, man. We're definitely gonna be talking about that soon. But yeah, bro. Let's get back. Let me get back to the article real quick. And you out there with your, mom is walking her kids. I mean, look at that, man. Look at that. This is what's on the streets in LA right now, bro. This is a nighttime photo, but she was out there in the daytime, bro. Look at that. That is insane. You got a mom or a dad out there walking their kids around. And before we had to deal with the homelessness problem, that was the big problem. We had to deal with the homelessness issue. And you got people who were, maybe should be in an institution, maybe should be getting some help, maybe need to be on meds, but they're homeless and they're out there. So we kind of trying to protect our kids from that. But now you got that going on as well, because the homelessness issue is still there. In fact, it's worse. But you also have this. You got the street pros out there doing their thing. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but let's at least help them. Let's help them perform their chosen profession in a safe environment that's clean. People have to get medical screenings. People have to be safe. Let's do it that way. They don't have to worry about some man coming up and taking their money because you got to work for some pimp. They don't have to worry about some gangbanger running up and taking their money because they know they got bread on them, right? You're gonna have organizations out there, criminal organizations, fighting for the track that they on. Hey man, this is our block over here, so this organization is gonna be protecting that track and taxing the people who making their money on it, i.e. the women, right? And maybe setting up the dudes coming in there looking for that business, i.e. the Johns. Let's just go ahead and make it legal. California want to take the lead in something. That's how you do it. Let's be brazen, and let's take a lead and let's show America what it looks like. Los Angeles Police Department sources who work in the area told the Post that prostitutes will perform sex acts for as little as $40, and many are selling their bodies for $160 or less at a time. Whoa, but isn't this free promotion? What are they doing? 40. However, some sex workers who troll Figueroa may claim they make up to $1,000 a night and have regular clients who fly them away to exotic locations. Man, it's crazy, bro. This is crazy. Casual Journey was like, I've never been so pissed off at a drunk woman in lingerie costumes until this past weekend. Yeah, bro. Halloween weekend, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's what people dress up as Halloween. It's hectic. Facts. It's all about the money. And let's say for a moment that they are making $1,000 a night, $5,000 a week. Let's say that, right? Let's just say it's $5,000 a week, non-tax. This is tax-free money. The government ain't seeing a cent of that money. It's $1,000 a night. She's in danger. She's making that kind of bread. She's paying somebody for protection. She should be paying the government. That's what the tax will be. You go in, you set it all up. You got a nice, clean area where people can walk up. It's safe. The guys who are coming don't have to worry about getting robbed. The women who are providing the services don't have to worry about getting robbed or worse. Right? The rules are the rules. You must use protection. You must do this and that. I don't understand why they don't do that. Anna is right. She is right. As part of the loitering rules, officers are no longer allowed to stop the women to offer them help unless they look underaged. And makeup can take care of that. In those circumstances, they will take the woman into the station and refer them to the Department of Children and Family Services. This is just crazy. Although the girls are sent to a shelter or another program, the LAPD sources say they usually see them back on the streets a few days later. These shelters are bad places, man. These shelters are probably recruiting grounds. You got to clean up that part. You're going to take these young girls. Hey, I need some help, officer. Please help me. All right, we bring you in. We give you the child services. Child services takes you and puts you in a foster care system. You are going to get abused in that system. Right? And they put you with a foster care. Maybe they put you with a temporary foster care situation. But it's temporary. They're not going to be able to take care of you for long. Eventually, you're going to wind up back into some sort of institution or whatever. And you're going to be like, I don't want to live like this. Bam, you out of there, back on the streets. And again, this is how they're walking around. This is how they're walking around. This is it. This is LA. This is out of control. It's not just LA. This is going on in Vegas. What other cities? It's probably going on, definitely going on in San Francisco, San Diego. You probably got a little bit of this going on in like Arizona, Nevada, probably around the truck stops. You got a little bit of this going on. You know, I mean, I can't speak for the rest of the country. I would imagine, I mean, every city has a track, bro. Every city has this. It should be legal. It should be legal for all who are involved. It should just be legal. Nonprofits combating sex trafficking like Journey Out are also finding it more difficult to connect with the growing number of sex workers on the streets. The charity's executive director, Naila May, said often young women don't even realize they're being trafficked because of the psychological and physical hold pimps have on them. Many are recruited as young as possible from other states and brought to LA. So there's less chances of their families intervening, right? They ain't got nobody to know them out there that's going to get them off that track. When law enforcement used to interact with them, often even before they would even try to press charges, they used to do is they recognize the person as possibly being a victim. They would link them to an organization such as ours, May said. So yeah, police were like, before they would press charges, what they used to do is if they recognize this person is possibly being a victim, they would link them to an organization such as ours. And sorry, I stumbled through that. Y'all. I was kind of looking at it like, what the? So what law enforcement used to do is say, hey, this might be a kid right here. You know, instead of us, you know, charging them, we're going to give them to this organization so they can help get this child back to their family and possibly help them. But look at these pictures, bro. I never saw this in LA. I never saw this. I'm being 100% with y'all, man. I never saw that. Like, that's just brazen. I never saw that. Right. And then she continues, we will be able to get them some help, but that's not happening anymore. They can't even talk to girls anymore. Last month, there were a total of 6 rapes reported in the area, according to the latest data obtained by the Post. 51 of them in the area have been reported so far this year. So you can see that crime is going way up. And I mean, I could see that they're not wearing anything, bro. Like, I could see that. And then that one video earlier, there was a dude walking around. He was wearing nothing from the waist down. He was walking around naked from the waist down on the streets. And it's crazy. Commander John Pinto, assistant commander of the LAPD Bureau, where the red light district is located, told the Post about 95% of the women who are working have pimps who are closely tied to street gangs. I mean, look at this. And it's probably true. Look at this, man. This is the middle of the day walking around LA. Just doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I see exotic dancers who wear more. You know, where we work in South Los Angeles, we're not addressing sex workers where there is a voluntary exchange between two people. What we are doing is addressing the human trafficking at the Figueroa corridor. There is a fear factor of coercion, right? So they're looking for the women who are being forced into this. There's a fear factor or some sort of coercion? And in the end, that pimp takes all the money and she doesn't even get any money back. It's been an ongoing problem for years, but the corridor has become the area where it's been an uptick in trafficking victims. I guess that's like, I've never been to, I know where Figueroa is. I never went down there. Not a great area. Definitely run by the gangbangers. That's their soil. I don't know what set runs it, but I can see if there's dudes out there running girls, quote unquote pimps, then yeah, they're going to be giving money to the gangbangers for protection. I get that. The women are out there. They might get snatched up and abused by just, you know, dudes running around. And yeah, these guys will take all their money. They'll take all their money, but they're like, I'm providing her with a place to live and I'm buying her clothes and this and that. It's a horrible situation. It's a horrible situation. You know, people try to make that pimping thing sound like it's something, man. It's horrible. It's horrible. So law enforcement is saying they're trying to focus their efforts there because they know there's going to be people there, women in particular, you know, find themselves in a situation that they can't get out of. Right. And Commander Pinto said officers on Thursdays rescued a 14-year-old who was being trafficked by a pimp at the Figueroa Street corridor. Right. So there are some innocent victims out there. And this is what Anna was talking about. The problem has become so bad that the city of LAPD and the LA City Attorney's Office, local nonprofits, and the Department of Children and Family Services and the U.S. Attorney's Office have band together and started a new program in September called Figueroa Initiative to help victims of human trafficking. Okay, so how's that going to work? So they just move from Figueroa to Western or Pico or Third. The Post took a ride downtown, the track on Figueroa, right down to the track. That's what they call it, which is still gang territory with various factions of the Bloods and Crips controlling nearby streets. At 6 p.m. on Tuesday, we saw girls wearing barely their G-strings and waving to motorists as they passed by. At the intersection of Figueroa and 96th to 98th Streets, traffic backed up into the residential areas because of Johns in their cars were shopping and pulled up on women to talk to them. Bro, I never saw that. I never saw that. Now, mind you, I left in 2019, right at the end of 2019. I never saw that, but I could see that happening. And law enforcement with this new initiative that came down from the state, from the governor's office, they're like, bro, police couldn't really do anything about it. Now the feds want to get involved with all these other organizations they're trying to help. All they're going to do is they're going to move the track. And they're just talking about one location. They're not even talking about the location that I saw back then. I can only imagine what that looks like. You know what I mean? Like Western between Wilshire and Olympic. I can only imagine what that looks like. Was it Olympic? Yeah, it was Olympic. Can only imagine what that looks like. I mean, look at this. She ain't wearing no clothes, man. Look at that. Just walking around the street, broad daylight. They need to legalize it. If they're going to do this, they just need to go ahead and legalize it. At least protect the people who want or who are forced to or feels they have to do this sort of work. Cop cars whizzed by, but the women didn't even run as the Johns parked their cars in the neighborhoods. They don't even care. They know they ain't getting arrested. The women know they ain't getting arrested. A jumbo women in a hot pink bikini and a white fox fur, a fake fur, posted seductively and smiled for the men as they tried to balance herself on their acrylic 6-inch stilettos, right? So her smile quickly turned to frustration as the car drove off. Not too far away from the action was a taco truck. The people who were trying to get a meal got an eyeful as women in raunchy bathing suits walked by. Bro, look at what they're wearing, man. By 9 p.m., the traffic was so congested that the women walked right up to the row of waiting. Johns, about 2 blocks from a busy corner, a man who was naked from the waist down hustled 2 prostitutes. Wow. And they were asking, like, why you got your joystick out? He walking around with no clothes on from the waist down. Shortly after the atmosphere quickly changed and became threatening, making it unsafe. So the Post reporter and photographers left. So it's so bad right there that they running it, man. That's like a whole nother world, bro. That's a whole nother world. We don't even have to read the rest of this article, man. That's a whole nother world. Like the streets are owned by the criminals. The police are driving by and the women don't even care. They just walking up to the car. It's going to take the feds to come in and run it and take it all over. They had the same problem in New York in the 70s and early 80s. They had the same problem in New York. And I believe it was Rudy Giuliani who cleaned that all up. And I remember that. I know in the early 90s, I went to New York and it was still bad. But, I went back in the mid to late 90s and they had cleaned it all up. So they're going to have to do something like that out here. Well, not out here. I mean, in California. The streets are run by the criminals out there, man. That's insane. Yeah, Brother Jack. They're like, yeah, they doing buy one, get ones, throwing in deals. They probably are, bro. They probably are. Brother Smith, was the price tags in the report? Oh, wow. Why even mention that? Come here. This is the price for this service. Exactly. You got dudes who probably didn't know about this track, read the article and ran down there. Even if you want that service, the fear of what you might get, what will happen to you, Who knows who is actually running the show? And if you get jumped with your pants down in the streets, yeah, that happens too, bro. That happens. That happens. And it's all kind of, that's just, that's just one of the crimes. It's all kind of crimes. Like there was another one here. I'm gonna pull this up for you guys real quick. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, and Jack Black is like, man, they might as well be naked. Facts. I'll pull another one up for you guys. Because there's all types of crime. That's just one type of crime that's going on out there, y'all. There's plenty. We already talked about the brazen robbery on the highway. It's literally highway robbery, right? We just talked about that. Well, here's another crime that's been going on. And this is from 5 months ago. This happened in LA. This happened actually in Beverly Hills, like in the Hollywood Hills. I did a show on this as well. Just a quick review. This woman was having a house party. Some other people crashed her house party that she didn't know, went up into her bedroom area and just robbed a woman blind and then left. And was so bold that the same woman, this lady, saw the women who robbed her on Sunset Boulevard like the next day. And was like, hey, police, that's two of the ladies right there, the two who robbed me. I got video footage. Take them in custody and we can, and they got 2 out of the 3. I think they got the third, eventually got the third later, but check this out.
Yeah, absolutely. In 20 minutes, in and out. They went straight in my front door. I didn't see them. I was in the back. They went straight up the stairs into the bedrooms.
This security video shows the 3 suspects walking into a house party last Sunday night as if they're invited guests.
So yeah, they just walked in his front door right here. We caught him right there on that camera there. And they went straight up these stairs.
Straight up to the bedroom. They're anything but invited guests. This video shows them inside Jana's bedroom deciding what to steal.
Some of my jewelry was missing that I had been wearing in the last day or two. Clothing from my closet. They had taken some name brand clothing and some clothing of my roommates.
And talk about brazen. These 3 clean out the valuables from the bedroom, even though Jana's roommate is asleep there right on the bed.
I have a girlfriend asleep in the bed and she's wearing an eye mask and doesn't hear a thing of them in the room. And they still went and stole stuff in the room. They even took the watch off of her wrists.
While she was sleeping.
While she was sleeping.
How crazy is
That's
that?
insane.
And it gets even crazier. Just 2 days later, the partygoers spotted nearby, just minutes away, at a restaurant on the Sunset Strip. 2 are arrested, but 1 gets away. Take a look, a good look. She's now the target of an LAPD search. Investigators.
I mean, bro, they hit this woman. 5 days later, they're at Johnny Rockets, just down the street from where they had committed this crime. Looks like they were sitting in Johnny Rockets. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. And get spotted by the woman that they robbed. Like, yo, that's her right there. That's them. 2 of them got caught and the third got away. I think they wound up catching the third one eventually. But this is what's going on. If people need to get it, they know where to go get it. They just walk. I mean, that's bold right there. Like, oh, it's a house party right here. Just gonna walk in there, go right upstairs. There's someone sleeping in the bed. You're gonna take the watch off their wrist, taking jewelry, taking clothes. They know what they're looking for. Like, oh, look at this. This is this. This is this. This is Prada. This is Chanel. This is whatever. I don't know what the women are wearing these days. You know what I mean? Taking the high-end clothes. I'm surprised they didn't take shoes or whatever. And then they bounced. They hit the quick lick and then they gone. This is gonna happen everywhere. This is what it looks like, man. When people they gotta eat, man. They gotta eat. They gotta eat, bro. That's what it boils down to, man. And the final thing I wanted to talk about before I let all y'all go, man, because y'all know I'm coming up on 2 hours. I gotta make some turkey burgers for my daughter. She wants turkey burgers. And tomorrow I'm teaching her how to make mac and cheese from scratch. Teaching her how to make macaroni and cheese from scratch. So I want to end with this real quick. And this is an article from CBS News. Let me pull this up. I'm still tripping on the track, what they doing out there in LA, man. That's crazy. But this is from CBS News. Americans reported $2.7 billion in losses from scams on social media, FTC says, right? Online fraudsters have taken billions of dollars from Americans in recent years as they are using social media to do it. Since 2021, Americans lost $2.7 billion in scams from social media, the Federal Trade Commission said in a scam report published Friday. And that figure is only a fraction of the actual harm, as most cases of fraud go unreported, the agency noted, right? So this article came out October 6th of this year, that began this month. So People continue to fall victim to social media scams in part because criminals have a trove of techniques they use for finding their prey. Emma Fletcher, a senior data researcher for the FTC, wrote in an analysis of the scam report. They can easily manufacture a fake persona or hack into your profile, pretend to be you, and con your friends, Fletcher said. They can learn to tailor their approach from what you share on social media. And that's a fact. Now, that happened to George Gammon. That's been happening to Fresh and Fit. Right. So right now, like there's some people out there who have a fake Fresh and Fit account on Instagram, and they've been hitting up people, you want to be on the Fresh and Fit show, hitting up women, send us this much money and we can, plan it out, all this kind of stuff. So they're getting the money. They might get $25 here, $50 there, $100 there, whatever they're getting. Who knows? But again, it sounds like short money, but it adds up, right? Myron and Fresh was talking about this last week. Like, bro, we don't reach out to people like that. We don't have, you're not going to hear from Myron or Fresh to say, hey, come be on our show. That's not going to happen. They got people who take care of that. Chris is the one in charge of that, and Chris has people who work for him. So, and they source in person, and they source on Instagram. They don't ask people for money. It doesn't cost money for a woman to be on Fresh and Fit. They want women on the panel. They don't charge. In fact, they'll probably take you out to dinner afterwards. They buy you something to eat. They'll have refreshments for you there and all that kind of stuff, right? So don't have somebody call you up and say, hey, or hit you up online, DM you and say, hey, we're Fresh and Fit. Pay us $50 and we'll put you on the show. They don't do that. Pay us $200 and we'll get you into the studio. They don't do that. They're real particular who they let in the studio. They got to know you. Trust me. Trust me as a guy who's been in that studio. I ain't been in a new one yet. I've been, my last couple trips to Miami, I was busy, but I've been in the Fresh and Fit studios. They don't just let any old body in there. Trust me when I tell you. So be careful of that, y'all. And the article continues. Oh, no, it was another thing. George Gammon, that's what I wanted to say. George Gammon had his identity hacked, and they took his Twitter account, and what they were doing is hitting up his friends and his people on Twitter and saying, I need money, or, hey, I got this investment opportunity, invest in this, and, whatever. And they actually managed to get money out of people. So be real careful with that, guys. Like if someone hits you up on X, which is, Twitter, or if they hit you up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and they're claiming to be somebody, you need to reach out to that person, especially if you know them or got some sort of access to them. Like you don't have to know Myron and Fresh personally or George Gammon personally, but if someone on X says, hey, I'm George Gammon, reach out to him on Instagram or find his email and email him or email his people. Find that, just don't send money off to folks, thinking that, they want whatever. Like, just don't do that, man. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, oh, if George Gammon were to reach out to me and say, hey, DL Saint, invest this much money in this thing and I guarantee you this big return and blah, 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 blah. The first thing I'm going to do is reach out to somebody that I know that's cool with Gammon. Hey, man, I got this. I'm going to send it to somebody I know. Do me a favor. Find out if this is really him. And then they'll get back to me and be like, nah, that's not him, bro. So it's happened to Melissa Wagi. I think that's her last name. Melissa. She does Epic Talks in Miami. Someone hit me up saying that they were her and, it was all about this money thing or whatever. I know Melissa. So I screenshot it. I sent it to her because Uncle Saint networks. I network with everybody. I screenshot that joint, man, and I sent it to her phone. I text messaged her. And I was like, yo, looks like someone stole your identity on Instagram. And she saw it. And then she sent it to her people. And then they went on Instagram, was like, hey, there's a fake person out there. Look out, blah, 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 blah. People. No one's going to be just reaching out to give you the deal of the century, man, if they don't know you or have some sort of tie to you, right? And normally it'll be a seminar or something. It's not like just give me money. It's going to be come to the seminar. And you can easily find that, but you just got to be careful, guys. You just got to be careful. These scammers are getting it, man. They're getting it, especially on social media. Most money is lost to scams on social media. The FTC analysis draws on nearly 258,000 social media fraud instances reported directly to the federal agency, as well as reports provided by Sentinel data. 1 in 4 people who reported losing money and fraud in 2021 pointed to social media as the origin of the scam. Americans lose money to fraud on social media platforms more than any other method of communication, including websites, phone calls, emails, online advertising, or mail, the FTC says. Wow, this is huge. Most cases of fraud on social media this year have stemmed from a user trying to buy clothes, electronics, or other goods that have been marked on Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat, the FTC reports reveals. In such instances, the user would order the product, but the item will reportedly never be delivered. And we've seen that, y'all. We know that. We know that scam. I just got a text message 3 days ago. Hey, your UPS package is here. Hit this link and then we'll give you the information. Like, what UPS package? I ain't ordered nothing. You know what I mean? But if you were ordering a bunch of stuff, that might have you hitting that link or whatever. How many of us gotten messages from Amazon? You know, get that Amazon. Hey, you know, your $1,000 camera is on the way or something like that. If you didn't order this, hit this link. And you rush to hit that link, and then now you're getting caught up in the scam because that's not Amazon. You know, there's some they're trying to make it look like Amazon. Like if something like that happens and your Amazon account has been hacked, don't hit any links that's sent to you. Call Amazon, right? Go on here, pull up your phone, pull up the app. There's a spot on there that allows you to say what the problem is, and it allows you to talk to someone from Amazon. They'll call you. You hit, I want to speak to someone from Amazon. They will call you. They will verify it's you. Don't be falling for this stuff, y'all. And it's crazy out here, man. It's crazy. So the returns and all that, y'all know what it is, man. Just be careful. The FTC report said Americans also often fall for the so-called romance scams. Yeah, this is huge via social media. You know, it's the Tinder swindler stuff. In which case a stranger sends someone a friend request and soon starts asking for money. You know, there's a lot of people getting romanced out their bread. Mostly dudes getting romanced by, catfish by these profiles that look like women. We were talking about that the other day. A lot of times what they want to do is get you to send compromising photos, and then they can take those photos and try to extort you. But you have other people, like they're using these, they're using either the date apps or hitting you up, getting to your DMs or whatever, and you see this page like, oh, this beautiful woman, and she's communicating with you every day and texting, hey, baby, this, hey, baby, that. Oh, my God, it's amazing. The whole time you're like, yeah, I got this girlfriend. If some strange, beautiful woman hits you up and you're not used to dealing with beautiful women, right, you should immediately want to see her. Like, yo, FaceTime. Immediately, FaceTime. And if she's coming up with excuses as to why she can't FaceTime, block, report, delete. Because it's a scam. They will play on your emotions, men and women, mostly beautiful women playing on the emotions of men. We all saw the Tinder swindlers, so there are dudes out there getting money out of women. So, and hey, when you hit them up and say, I want FaceTime, they might have that woman sitting there FaceTiming you, right? So she might be living in Colombia, she might be living in Argentina, she might be living in Thailand or whatever. So still be careful. Okay, you on FaceTime me. Let's meet in real life. Let's go get coffee. Let's go get salad. Let's go get a smoothie. Let's meet in real life. Right? Understand that, gentlemen. Like if she's about it like that, she's going to want to meet you too. So let's meet in real life. If she's like, oh yeah, just come to Colombia. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh yeah, just send me money so I can buy a plane ticket and I'll come see you. Send me $500. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're trying to fly her out, but look, baby, you get here and I'll give you $500, but I'm not going to send you $500. You'll never see her. You never see the money. So be careful with that, man. It doesn't make sense for a beautiful woman to just hit up some random dude and start a relationship. That's just not normal. Could it happen? Sure, it could happen. But just be careful with that. But that's all I'm saying. And that romance thing, it is what it is. The article continues, more skilled at deceiving victims. Cyber criminals have become more creative and skilled at tricking victims through text messages, by phone, and online. Cybersecurity experts say. The first defense against scams is looking for telltale signs such as someone creating a sense of urgency while soliciting you for money. Absolutely. Absolutely. Here are some tips by the FTC on steering clear of scams on social media, right? Number one, social media users can reduce their chances of getting scammed by limiting the number of people online who can view their posts. Make it private. Facts. Make it private. Make it private. But people who want that attention and validation, they ain't gonna do it. Men and women. There's a lot of dudes out there trying to get attention and they want validation too. Don't let it get twisted. There's a lot of bottom drillers out there. There's a lot of top tier dudes. They just love that attention. So be careful of those people. But yeah, make your stuff private. All platforms collect information about you from your activities on social media, but visit your privacy settings to set restrictions. That's a good point right there. Number two, if you get a message from a friend requesting money or letting you know about a financial opportunity, it may be that their account was hacked by a scammer. Call them up to verify the message, particularly if they ask you to make a payment by cryptocurrency, gift card, or wire transfer. Yeah, like Western Union or something like that. Venmo, Cash App, they do that stuff too. If I told the story about how I got a message from a friend, a buddy of mine I served in the military with that I hadn't seen in over 20 years. And they're talking about, hey, this veteran stuff, and hey, just send me this money and I can get you this program. And you know what I mean? You send me, I don't know, I forget how much it was, 200, 500, 1,000, whatever it was. You send me this money and they'll guarantee you're going to get these benefits on the back end and get your money back and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I was bored. I ain't had nothing else to do. I'm like, yeah, this was great. No problem, man. I got the money. Just do me just real quick. Tell me where you met me. That's all I asked. Tell me where you met me. We met in the military. What branch? Oh, you're going through my social media. Oh, you're in the Army. Okay, cool. Where did we meet? And that was it. Never heard from them again. They were gone. And I sent all that information to my friend. My friend was like, yeah, someone hacked my stuff, man. Good looking out. Thanks. You know what I mean? Beware if someone reaches out to you on social media to start a friendship or a romance. Facts. We hear about romance scams. Never send money to anyone you haven't met in person. I would say don't send money to people you have met in person. You're going to give them money, make them come and get it. Make them come and get it. You know what I mean? And she's fine like that. Tell her to wear one of them outfits we saw on the other article underneath her coat when she come over to get that money. I'm just playing, y'all. She a real friend, or he a real friend. You can help them out if you can. Research any company found on social media before making a purchase. Search its name plus scam or complaint. Yep, that's a good point there. You learn more about how to spot scams as well as how to recover money if you've been scammed at ftc.gov/scams. To report a scam, contact the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Good information right there, guys. Good information. You know what I mean? And Brother Jack was saying they have got for like $120 one time. Never said anything to anyone, but something happened to me that exact scam. All right, so they got for like $120. That $120 might not seem like much, man, but you 10x that, 100x that, 1000x that, bro. That adds up fast, and there's people falling for it. When people get scammed, who are normally the victims? Old people and young people. Old people and young people. We just did a video on that as well, not too long ago. I think it was last week. Be careful, be smart out there, y'all. These scams, it's money making schemes are gonna increase. These types of crimes are gonna increase. We're talking about the prostitution. We're talking about the strong arm robbery, right? We're talking about home invasions, and yes, carjackings, car thefts. That's been going up. These crimes are going to continue to increase as unemployment numbers rises, as inflation gets crazy. As the economy, starts to sputter and the recession begins to hit. More and more of these type of crimes are going to happen. Be smart out there, guys. Be smart out there. Keep your eyes open. I'm not saying being paranoid. I want you to enjoy life. But trust me, life is way more enjoyable when you're not getting robbed, when you're not getting scammed. Most of us cannot afford to take that financial hit. So be careful out there, guys. Be careful. You don't want to lose all your money. Be careful with your credit cards. Don't carry all of your credit cards on you, all of your debit cards on you. Don't do that. Don't carry large amounts of cash. You know, just kind of watch how you move. If someone does get you, all right, they're going to get me for that credit card, man. That's, you know, that's American or that's, you know, Visa or MasterCard. All I got to do is open up my phone and cancel that card. I can shut it off and then report it stolen. Any money that they might have gotten in that short amount of time, the credit card company's going to deal with. But if they get your debit card, they got your money, bro. Be careful. Y'all know this. Be careful what links you open up. Be careful of beautiful people trying to be your friend from out of nowhere. Be careful, guys. That's all I want to say about that, man, because it is crazy out here, and it's only going to get worse. It's not just going to be California. It's not just going to be the big cities. These scams are going to be everywhere. Everywhere. If you don't believe me, just watch American Greed. American Greed is about to have at least 10 years worth of product, 10 years worth of stories to tell. Look at what's going on with DJ Envy and that Cesar Pena guy, right? There's so many people getting hit. Cesar Pena was getting people for $20, $30, $40, $50,000, $80,000, $100,000, $300,000. Got one dude for $1 million. $1 million. And most of that was coming in cash money. These people, he was telling them to bring the money to me cash. If you want a red flag, that's the biggest red flag of all. What major real estate mogul is dealing in cash? Come on now. Well, he just told me to bring the money to him, $100,000 in a bag. What? Wire transfers, bro. Wire transfers. And when it comes time to recover the money, how do you know how much money? One guy said he dropped off the money and Caesar didn't even count it. I'd have picked up my bag and walked out of there like, bro, let me get up out of here, man. And the guy just walked away like, oh, there it is. Be smart, guys. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, right? It probably is. So that's it. That's all we got for today, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I really do, man. Casual Journals, man, I really appreciate the donation, man. $50, man. I appreciate that super chat, y'all. Like I said, we growing. We getting there. We ain't quite hit Fresh and Fit super chat yet, but we getting there, bro. And I appreciate every single dime, man. I really do. It goes into buying cameras, and I finally got that travel kit, just trying to figure out how to use it. Yeah. So I appreciate it. Everything goes right back into this. We're going to continue to chop this up and do our shorts and hopefully get more people to watch. Yeah, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking out with me, fellas. I really do. Brother Smeebles, he was like, yeah, scamming is a numbers game. Send out 100,000 messages and they get 1% return rate. It's still 1,000 times. Even it's just 120, that's $120,000. Facts, bro. $120,000, man. It's worth the time. It is a numbers game, man. That's why they call it fishing, bro. They just be out there fishing, man. That's facts. Thanks for that, bro. That's 100%. Be smart, man. You know, when times get hard, we get desperate. We're looking for that quick hit, man. Just be smart, man. Will you miss out on some legit opportunities? You probably will. But research, take your time, research. Don't run out here and just give your money away. Don't do it. Remember, most of us have families and others that are counting on us, man. So don't put yourself in a hole, forcing yourself to get into, you know, a situation where you might have to go out here and work on the other side of the law yourself just to make that money up. Two wrongs don't make a right. You know what I mean? That's how it works. So, man, I hope y'all enjoyed that. This was fun, man. I'll be back tomorrow, man. We're definitely going to be talking about some stuff, man. We'll probably be talking about the Middle East and all that. Be looking for the shorts. I'm going to do a few shorts on it. And we're just going to keep this rolling, bro. Crazy what's going on in California, but I'm telling you, it's going to be happening across the country. Prostitution is going to be on the rise. Home invasions are going to be on the rise. Carjackings are going to be on the rise. Burglaries are going to be on the rise. You know what I mean? Muggings are going to be on the rise. People, be careful out there. Keep your eyes open, man. Keep your head up. And we'll get through this recession. And on the other side, you know what I mean? Then we'll figure out how to make some good money. All right. I'm DL Saint. This is I Really Want to Know podcast. Man, I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.